Welcome to the CWC podcast. Welcome, everybody. We are proud to announce that we hit 100 subscribers. And as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and give all of you a round of applause for helping us hit that landmark fairly quickly. We started the channel on August 23rd, and we are, in the beginning of October, the middle of October,
Yeah.
right? So roughly 6 weeks or so, and we've made it to 100 subscribers. I think we actually have 101 to be exact. So thank all of you.
Thank you.
We really, really appreciate it. You're helping us more than you know, just with your comments, things like that. It helps us to build better content for the channel, and we want to continue to bring you great content. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Today's topic. Now, this is going to be a lightning rod topic. Me and my sister might even argue during this particular show because this is on feminism, and more specifically, modern feminism. Because what has happened, and let me first give you the Webster's Dictionary definition of feminism, is the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of the equality of the sexes. Now, that sounds great, right? I think that we all can agree that women should have the same rights that men have.
Yes.
Right? I think we all can agree. Common sense, I think whether it's voting rights or whatever, that's how the movement actually started, was because there was a time in this country where women didn't have the same rights, right? So you had a lot of brave women who stood up and said, hey, What about us?
Yeah.
We want to be heard. We want to be able to vote. We want to have the same rights that our male counterparts have. So I think we all can agree. I mean, there may be some guy out there like, nah, they shouldn't be able to vote though. Maybe. But I think by and large, I think most people would agree, right?
Yes.
That mission statement is a good one.
It's a good one.
However, what has happened is that it's been perverted. It's been perverted very badly now, I don't know if this is the vocal minority or not. I don't know. But some of the stuff I see online is very disturbing. Some of the things that I've seen with...
well, it started off on a good foot.
Yeah.
It started off and let's let them, we should be allowed to vote. We should be allowed to go to work if we want to,
Yeah.
But it's the delivery of the information. And once things gain a momentum and who is the one delivering, it's become angry and put offish, like repelling as far as I feel and I'm concerned. It's repulsive. The way that it's being delivered now is, gosh, is there a middle ground? Like, it's like...
Well, that's what we're here to discuss, right? Like, is there a middle ground? Is it where are we with this feminist movement? Because let me start by saying this. Most women that I've had conversations with, one-on-one conversations about this topic, they don't like feminists. They don't like feminists. Most women that I talk to are because they see it for what it has become. They see it as the message has been perverted. It is indoctrinating young girls specifically into a way of thinking that is not healthy, because the equality that they're talking about has been perverted into, it means that you as a woman are equal to me as a man in terms of everything I can do, you can do. And everything you can do, I can do. We're equal in that way, which that's just not scientifically possible.
No, it's not.
Like, I can't get pregnant and have a baby, right? Even though there's people out here that want to pretend that men can do this. There are people, believe it or not, online that are, and if I was a woman, I'm going to be honest, I would be offended more than even men.
Most of us are.
I'd be very offended.
Frankly, most of us are. It's very annoying and it's frustrating. And I don't know why they're trying to make men equal to women and women equal to men. And what they've done is pinned us against each other.
Yes.
With this is what I feel like.
And that's by design, everybody. Like, because they don't want unity. Because if we're all united, hey, united we stand, divided we fall, right? So it's if the more that you can drive a wedge and divide us, I mean, my goodness, they're doing a great job.
It's another way
they're
to divide
doing
us,
a great job. The mainstream media is they've taken up arms against on the side of feminism, because what you're going to hear, you'll hear a buzz term a lot. You're going to hear toxic masculinity. That just means being a man now. That just means
that's
being
what
a
I
man,
think.
Right?
A man's man. Being a man, and not this soft soy boy that is afraid to make a decision, and his wife has to now wear the pants because he can't make a decision.
Right. Now, is that what you guys want as women? Because here's what's happening. When I interview women and I talk to them just in passing and things, they don't want a man like that. So this whole idea of you being a boss babe and you being the head of the household as opposed to the man being the head of the household.
Right.
It's backwards.
It's backwards, and it has become very exhausting for the woman because if she feels like she's doing everything. Yeah. And he just can't make a decision, this guy. Hey, what do you want to do, hon? Oh, where are we going? What time do we have to be there? What should I wear?
Right. I didn't grow up that way. And like I said, granted, I know I'm old, right, guys. I'll admit it. I'm old, right? And I come from a different generation. And so for me, it was always, the man was the head of the household. The man was the one that set the tone. The man was the one that made the decisions. Now, did he always make the right decisions? No.
Right. Well,
but the burden was on him because at the end of the day, he's the one that's out earning the money, putting the roof over your head. Now, women, I know you're going to get mad and say, they ain't like that no more. They don't even want to do this. You know why? Because you guys have told them to stop. So men don't want to do these things anymore. They're like, why should I go out here, bust my back? Why should I go out here and work super hard to put a roof up, pay 80% of the bills? So like the old model of marriage and relationship, and I know I'm old. My marriage was structured this way. I pay basically 80% of the expenses, right? Uh-huh. I didn't want my wife stressing about money.
Yeah.
I didn't want her stressing about, were we able to pay the light bill?
Yeah, no.
I didn't want her. What? Or else, what did you marry me for? Does that make sense?
You don't have a husband, you have a wife.
Does that make sense? Ladies, help me here. Because I guess I just don't understand what this incessant push is to stomp on men, to tell them they're less, oh, man, they suck and they can't do this. I don't need no man. And that's what it.
Well, that's why they're stopping doing what they're doing. They're tired of being talked shit to.
Yeah. They're tired of being beaten down.
He's like, okay, so you do it.
So when women come out here and say, where are all the good men at? I don't know where they all went. They're just not talking to you anymore.
Yeah.
They don't want anything to do with you. Why? It's exhausting. If you have, I said this in one of the earlier videos, why are you competing with me? I know, okay, I asked you this earlier. Don't you want a man that's going to he's going to commit to you, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to eventually ask you to marry. He's going to court you and do these things, right? Mm-hmm. At least I'm hearing
courting. It. That's another old term, old guy.
I'm old. Hey, again, guys, I'm old. So
they're going to say courting. What is that?
Tell me in the comments. There's some women out there talking about they don't even do that. What are you talking about?
I don't know what that is.
Tell me in the comments. I mean, but I'm just saying from the way I was raised and like the way that in my marriage, I was married, the way it was structured and things like that. That was the way that it just was normal to me. Now I know there's a whole bunch of dudes talking about that's why you stupid, man. You should have been doing all that. That's why I told her it's got to be 50-50 for me or we ain't doing nothing. If that's the case, then what's the point is my point, right? Like if a man's going to ask you to marry him, right? Yeah. And he's going to commit to you in that way. Don't you want to feel secure?
Well, I think all women, I'm saying all, let me say most. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think most women want to feel protected and safe. Mm-hmm. That is really big. And if you can't find a guy to make you feel protected and safe, and safety comes in a lot of ways, not just he can, beat up an intruder or whatever, but safety is knowing that your house isn't going to go into foreclosure because he's not paying the bills. Right. Safety is knowing that every time you open the fridge, there's food. So it's your food, your shelter, your clothing. Everything is kind of, he can do it. You know he can do it. So you're not going to worry, what good is he if you're sitting around worrying about if he can handle it?
Right. Simple. It sounds simple to me, but it's not. Because what has happened is in this feminist movement, I've come across a disturbing number of TikTok videos and YouTube videos of young ladies, girls in their 20s. They are out here openly bragging about how many sexual partners they have. They're talking about okay, correct me if I'm wrong. It is a double standard, but it's the natural order of things. Men, yes, it's in our nature to be sexually promiscuous. It's in our nature to seek out the female species in order to procreate, right? That's in our nature. We're wired that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not. Okay.
And convincing women that they are or that they can be, you can be just like him. You can go out and you can sleep with as many people as you want to. And now, back in the day, you had a diary or a journal that you wrote your private escapades and your thoughts and what you did with people privately. You shut the book, you put it away. Now people are going on TikTok and all of these platforms and they're telling everybody about what they are doing. Now, whatever, do whatever you want, but just know this. Women, we are highly emotional creatures. And whether you admit to it or not, or whether you know it or not in the moment, when we sleep with people, you leave an emotional piece of you with that person. And as you keep continuing to do that with man after man, you are chopping away at yourself little by little to where you're not even the same person anymore. Now add abortion right to that, which is not constitutional, but anyways.
That's for a different show.
Each abortion takes pieces away from you as well. If you're one of these people that is using it as a means of birth control, there's nothing wrong with the fetus. There's nothing wrong with you. And you're doing it because it's inconvenient for you or whatever. You are losing bits and pieces of you along the way. Right. You're not even the same person. You don't even know it. And then when you finally decide, okay, it's time for me to settle down and I want to go with this guy, and what happens to you?
Here's what happens. Number one, she's not going to be able to pair bond with this partner because she's got too much baggage. She's got too much emotional baggage. She's been with too many sexual partners. She's participated. I mean, these young girls I'm talking about, they've participated in all kinds of sexual. They're talking about participating in orgies. They're talking about having sex with multiple partners in one day. They're out here telling you guys this. So these are the future wives of
Those
America,
are things
right?
that you kept to yourself or you put in your diary or something like that.
Right.
And telling everybody that you've been with 2 and 3 people in one day should be a secret.
I would think so. But what has happened is it's being worn as a badge of honor, right? Because one thing we were joking about earlier is like if I came on here tonight and I told the audience, hey, I linked up with 5 women last week. All the guys in the comment section would be like, Hassan, making it happen. There you go, man. Hey, there you go. Hey, you, right? If she came on here and said the same thing, in the comments, they'd be like, your sister, was she a hoe or something?
Your sister shot out. And then my friends would be like, I mean, do you need some professional help? I have someone you can talk to.
Right.
Because there's something wrong with you that you're trying to fill some empty some empty holes.
Literally.
You're trying to fill some holes. There's something missing. Like, what is wrong? Because that's not normal for a woman to just be bouncing all over the place. And it's going to mess you up. It will mess you up. Whether you know it or not, it will.
So we seem to agree. For the most part. Now, if you don't disagree, like if there's one, because one of the interviews I watched, there was a young lady, she was maybe 21 or 22. And here's what she kept saying to the interviewer. Like the interviewer kept saying, so you're saying that you'll hook up with a guy that this guy is kind of bad news or, no, I don't really want. But if you're bored that night, you'll hook up with him and you'll have sex with him anyway, just because you're bored, right? Mm-hmm. And she said, but what's wrong with that? She was like, guys do it all the time. So why is it a problem when I do it? You see, they've been confused. It's been perverted. They think that there's nothing wrong with it. As women, you're held to higher standards. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It is a double standard, I guess.
Yeah,
but
it is. But but it goes against like it's nature, right? Female nature, that's not in your nature to do that. It's just not.
Yeah.
If you're trying to force it to be, just because, oh, well, guys get to do it, how come I can't do it? And that's what I hear with a lot of this, the sexual promiscuity, the experimentation that these young girls are doing. A lot of this is happening on college campuses. We may have to do a separate show on college campuses because college campuses are really toxic with the stuff that they're teaching, and they're kind of brainwashing these young ladies, especially. Now, guys too, because there are male feminists, but there are a lot. She mentioned the term soy boys. Basically, what that is a guy that he's a man, but not really. He's number one. Most of the time, these guys, they're not in shape. They're walking around.
Yeah.
He may talk like that too. Like a lot of these guys, you'll talk to. What did you say, bro?
Yeah.
What were you saying? Like they don't project their voice. They don't have confidence. They don't stand straight up.
Yeah.
And then
you can't make a decision.
I was laughing with a buddy the other day because we saw it case in point. So we're in Whole Foods, and we see this really pretty young lady, a very attractive Hispanic girl, and she's walking, and her boyfriend's 2 steps behind her. This guy had a T-shirt that was like 8 sizes too big. It was all the way down to his ankle. He had tattoos all over his hands and everything. Mm-hmm. He had a man bun with a strip of yellow in it.
Oh, so he was really cool.
He was cool, right? It was cool, right? So I'm looking at her and I'm looking at him, and she kind of had this look on her face.
He was her shiny object, but now he's starting to get on her nerves.
Correct.
Because he's walking behind her. He's not making decisions, and I bet you he's not paying for the food either.
And he's also not driving the car. Yeah. Because I've seen that too. That's odd to me. Again, I know that I'm old, but I see a lot of these younger couples, and I see the woman is driving and the guy is in the passenger seat.
That's going to be the same guy at the mall when he's 70 or 80, and all the purses are in his lap.
Yeah.
And he has nothing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are what we call soy boys. These are guys that they have no idea what they're doing.
That's supposed to happen to you as an old man because your testosterone is tanked. Not now.
Yeah. So you get the idea. So you get the idea. What we're saying here is that a lot of these guys, like the woman, like you said, that was her shiny object. It was appealing to her at the time. It was a guy she was attracted to in the moment at the time, right? And then it's like, okay, so now they're committed, and maybe she got pregnant, right? Oh, okay, well, I'm with him. Let me settle down. And then the woman almost like instantly regrets it because she's sitting there thinking, oh man,
his act is worn thin.
The rest of my life with him? Like,
felt like a good idea in the beginning.
So it goes to what I said in one of the earlier videos. The misconception is this: it isn't that the female standard is too high. That's what a lot of people like. A lot of people say, these women want everything. It's actually too low, because what women have done is they have gone ahead and said, okay, you know what? We're gonna be on the carousel for our 20s and a portion of our 30s. We're going to just mess with all these different dudes. We're going to have our hot girl summers. We're going to do all of these things. We're going to have our fun. And then we're going to get up to 32, 33. And then we'll say, biological clock's ticking. I got to have a baby.
Yeah.
You just have to find someone now. Well, the high value guy is not going to want you. The high value guy is going to have standards. He's going to have a standard about how he wants you to look, how he wants you to act, how he wants you to dress. He's probably not going to want you on social media. He's going to have standards. That's the trade-off if you want this high-value man. A lot of these women, the dude they have, they think he's high value. He's not. He's not. Okay? He's not. A high-value man doesn't have to walk around saying, I'm a high-value man.
No, he doesn't have to tell anyone.
He doesn't have to say anything. He walks in a room, you know he's high value. You can just tell. He carries himself a certain way. He projects himself. He's very confident. Mm-hmm. If you see him with his wife, he's kind of not saying he's controlling necessarily. Sometimes he might be. But he's going to have a specific criteria or a way that he wants his woman to behave, his woman to act. He doesn't want her out showing pictures of her body for free on the internet to everybody. He doesn't want her doing these things if he's going to commit to you.
Is that toxic masculinity?
Yes.
Is that what they're calling it?
Yes.
Okay.
Toxic masculinity is the man's man, right? He's the man who, hey, this is the guy that, I mean, hey, who do y'all think lays all the railroad tracks? Who do y'all think cuts down all the lumber in the
I was
forest?
going to say, I don't want to chop wood.
Right.
I don't want to learn
Right.
how to lay railroad lines. I don't want to cut the grass.
Right.
Like,
Do you want to change the shingles on the roof? Like, you hear women say this thing, we want equality, we want to be like, do you really? Do you know what that actually means, ladies? I don't think you know. I think you're being told something that's not true.
And they're being led by the movement evolved from being, okay, we want equal rights, to being led by this angry pack of women.
Mhm.
And they're screaming and yelling. And I think a requirement to be one of the leaders is you have to dye your hair
Mhm.
pink or green or blue or whatever, and be very angry about it. Why
Yeah.
does it have to be so angry? I don't understand.
Have you guys ever watched any of these feminist rallies on TV or YouTube or whatever? Those women scare me. I don't want to be around them at all.
Well,
Like,
one of my questions was who's effing her?
no one. That's why she's so upset. Nobody.
Yeah.
That's why she's so mad. Like, what man could stand to be around her for 5 minutes?
They're screaming, give us our rights. We want abortion. I was like, who's effing you?
Yeah. And then there was one young lady in one of those, and she was a young lady, young Hispanic girl, kind of chubby girl, and she was standing up there. How many abortions have you? She said 3. And they were like, see, I wouldn't tell nobody that. Like, would you? Like, what? Why are you telling people this?
This is very private information.
And she said, and I would do it again. They're bragging about this.
They're bragging.
Do you see what it's done to these girls' mentality?
Promiscuous, making poor choices. Because if you're the gatekeeper of sex, because we get to choose.
Of course.
The guy says, okay,
Yeah.
yay, today's my day.
Of course.
And you get to choose. So you're picking all of these people. You make a wrong decision and then you go and murder at the end of all of it and repeatedly, if there's nothing wrong with you and there's nothing wrong with the baby, like, I don't know. That's just personal, I know what that does to someone when they do it. And it never goes away. It is not a good feeling. And, it's something that not only the woman, but the man, if he gets an opportunity to know about it, wonders, what would my child have looked like? What would my child have been like? What if it was his only opportunity to have a child and you took it away from him because maybe you didn't even like this guy. You were bored.
She didn't.
And you slept with him. You got you pregnant. Now, I mean, this is detrimental to a lot of people's emotional and psyche, and it's just damaging all around. I don't think it's a good thing, not to the way that it has evolved. It has evolved to be very negative and damaging. And that's why this is a subject for me that I'm not well versed in, because when I hear about it, it's negative to me. It doesn't sound empowering at all. It feels very negative, and the way that it is presented is negative. So therefore, I don't subscribe to it. I change the channel, or I choose to watch something else. Like, this isn't a part of my reality, but from what I do see of it, it doesn't feel good to me, and it doesn't sound good the way that it is delivered, and the way that they pin men against women and women against men. If you're asleep at the wheel, this is just another way to divide people, and to keep us at odds with each other, and to control the population and all of those things.
Yeah. Because I'm going to read to you guys some stats. Okay. And then I'm going to share a couple articles with you that I recommend reading. So here's some statistics that are a direct result of feminism. So nearly 70% of all the outstanding student loan debt belongs to women. 85% of those women are living paycheck to paycheck. Here's what happened. The college industrial complex fooled women into chasing worthless degrees. They're coming up with all these just things that, quite frankly, when I say worthless, they're pretty much worthless in the real world when it comes to you earning money, right?
Yeah.
So this girl that has 2 and 3 bachelor's degrees in gender studies and diversity and inclusion and all these things that
Because they're brand new topics that the
Yeah.
media and people have brought to the surface. They've created these new buzzwords.
Yeah.
So now they've created classes and degrees in these buzzword genres, and you can't make any money with that.
And then that's where this gender pay gap comes from. That's a myth. And I'm going to share the chart. I'll probably share it in a future video.
You're going to make a lot of people mad with that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
A myth? What are you talking about?
Here's why.
I know I don't make as much as so-and-so, and we're in the same position. What are you saying?
Okay, so I believe that it is, I'll correct myself on another video if I'm wrong, but I believe it's actually Indian women or Asian women that are making more money than everybody else right now in the United States. Mm-hmm. They're making a lot of money. Why? Because they've chosen high-paying careers. They've chosen engineering. They've chosen IT. They've chosen things in the medical industry. They're choosing things that have a higher salary path than some of these other things because what ended up happening, men are dropping out of the college. Men aren't really going to college anymore. Yeah. It's mostly women because men figured it out. That's what happened. Yeah. So they said, okay, here's what we have to do. We know we can get women all riled up. We know we can tell them that you need to go out there and you need to educate. And listen, I'm not bashing education.
They are appealing to the emotional side of women, and they are drawing them in.
Yes.
And getting them to sign up for these positions that don't do. It's just a way to collect money off the women, put them in debt.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a program.
And then they go out here in March for student loan debt forgiveness. So you see what I'm saying? You see what I mean, guys? And listen, I'm not saying that I'm not against education. I have a college degree. You do too. I'm not against education. I believe I'm a pro. God willing, my daughter will go to college one day on a scholarship. I'm not anti that, but what I do tell and I advise women and men, do your research on the field that you're planning on getting into. If it's a saturated field, don't go into it. It might be a little bit harder to get into other things, but they have higher salaries that you can eventually attain. I worked at a company where there were a lot of women that were hired after me that were making a lot more money than me.
Yeah.
Okay. So this whole mythical, you're going to make less money just because you're female is false. It's false. I don't care what the media tells you.
Choose wisely.
Thank you. So now the second stat that I want to share with you. 1/4 of all American women are on some form of antidepressant. This is due to an increase in stress and responsibilities of women in modern society. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because you want to be the head of household. Do you really want it? Men have shorter lifespans in general, right? Why? Because we're under more stress.
I think so, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're worried about the bills. We're worried about the mortgage. We got to cut the grass. We're worried about the appointment with the guy coming over to trim the hedges.
Why would women want to take on all of that? And I don't want to be stressed out like you.
Okay. So let me share another stat with you.
I'm already stressed out.
You're already stressed out. Exactly. 77% of all Black children are born to unwed mothers. 72% of all inmates come from single mother households. I don't need no man. Right? So you're running these men off, and now, granted, in a lot of cases, a lot of these guys, again, in the example you just talked about, you shouldn't have had a baby with the guy in the first place.
You chose poorly,
right?
Yes.
So if you chose poorly, listen, you chose poorly. But when we see that 77% of Black children, which is almost 80%, come on, are we not going to talk about this?
It's a very high number.
Are we not going to address this? Are we not going to at least say, okay, wait a minute, that's a problem. Why is this happening? This needs to be talked about. So those were the stats that I wanted to, which are these things are a direct result of feminism in one way, shape, or form. Now, I didn't even talk about no-fault divorce. I didn't even talk about things like that where they made it easier for the woman to destroy her family.
To get rid of the man?
Yes.
Yeah.
They made it easier for the woman to say, you know what, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to get, it doesn't even matter what she did. She can cheat on you with 17 different dudes, get caught, tell you, record it, show the world, and you still have to pay her.
Yeah.
Tell me that's fair.
It used to be if you cheated on him, you did not get your alimony.
Correct.
You can leave.
Why did they change that?
I don't know.
I'll tell you why. 85% of consumer spending is done by women.
They need a payday.
They need them to get the money, not me, because I'm not going to spend it.
You're not going to spend
the
it.
Woman, go to the mall. Go to any mall right now. Go to any store. Go find the man section. Tell me how long it takes. The men's section is it's in the corner like this. There's a little piece in the corner. The rest of the store is for women. This is why take his resources, give it to you. Yeah. You go spend it. That's what this is.
I get it.
Okay. So all of these things that I'm saying, and guys, feel free to disagree with me in the comment section. I know that this is a hot button topic. We're going to have multiple parts to this show too, but I feel pretty strongly about this stuff. And most women that I talked to, I was talking to a lady. She was about 35, 36. She hates feminists. Like, she was angry when she was talking to me. Like, she was literally
it messes it up for the women that don't agree with the narrative. And then we're grouped in with everybody else and are sitting here going, well, there really isn't much to choose from, you know, because a lot of these guys out here are soft. They've become soft. And a lot of it's due to feminism, due to the chemicals in the food. They are making men soft.
So she's going to share this when she does her vegan follow-up. She was showing me some articles on this. She's going to share some articles with you that are going to shock a lot of you.
Erectile dysfunction is a big deal in this country. Is a big deal. Yeah. If you are in your 40s and you cannot bring home the bacon
on demand,
not, excuse me, hon, I gotta
give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, your diet's all effed up. You're eating the wrong food. She's feeding you the wrong food. There's something, it's in the food. I can prove it to you. It is diet. So that'll make you soy boy. If you're sitting around with your big belly and waiting for food to come and you have no say so on what kind of diet is introduced into the home, you don't have any input. You don't make any decisions. You're just sitting around waiting for the next meal and waiting for the next outing, and you don't initiate anything and you don't have any ideas, and you're just sitting there and you go to work and come home, and she actually now has to make the decisions. She actually now has to run the show. She is the conductor because you're becoming softer and softer, earlier and earlier, like in their 40s. Men can't get an erection on their own. That's why he can't make a decision. He has no testosterone.
Yeah, I think you're onto something on that. And then, I'm gonna be honest with you. I really believe that most of these like vocal feminists, no man wants them anyway. Okay, no man wants them anyway. So they would like nothing more. Misery loves company, right? So they don't want you to get a good man either.
Exactly.
They don't want that.
No.
They don't want you to be a shining example of. There's a couple YouTubers that I follow that are females that are very anti-feminist. Like, they're traditional women. They love their husband. They're unapologetic about it. I mean, I know that's blasphemy these days, right? But because these women get attacked ferociously for
supporting their man, being. I'm not telling you to be all the way submissive and you don't have anything to say.
No.
I'm saying, you have respect for him. You respect his decision making because he's a man that can make a decision. So she wants to make him happy. And in turn, he makes her very happy. So,
or else what did you marry him for? That's all I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to me, ladies. Can you help me understand? Make it make sense for me, please. Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. With that being said, I'm going to share a couple of articles with you guys. Let me share my screen here. Got a couple of articles, and this is going to be in the description box below. You should be seeing on the screen. This is from Scott Scoop. It says, opinion, modern feminism destroys American societal values. An analytical look at woke feminism through a cinematic lens. This is from January the 15th. If you're not angry, you're not paying attention. This is going to be a mean feminist girl. Oh, boy, she's mean. Look at her face. She's mean. Look at some of these women. Come on, man. Look. No wonder you mad. But see, so guys, this is what
And
I'm
no
just going to
wonder
leave
they're
these.
single. I'm guessing, but I would say
I'm going to leave a link to this in the description box. I'm not going to read too much of it to you. I just want to kind of point you out to what some of these movements look like. There's a lot of feminist parades and rallies and all these things, and even mainstream articles are talking about how now the message has gotten perverted to the point where this is another one we'll take a look at real quick.
what about I saw choice feminism. You're allowed to, I guess, choose your gradient of where you land on the feminist scale.
Mhm.
And I think it was kind of like, if you take care of yourself, if you love yourself, if you put yourself kind of first, and you're healthy and you're doing things that are good for you, that's a different type of feminism now. That's at least what I got from it.
Okay.
Choice feminism.
Choice feminism. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta look that one up. I don't know about that one.
Something like that. I think that's the way it was put. So you don't have to be angry about it.
I'm gonna send you home tonight with this. So I'm gonna give you this book, and shout out to Coach Greg Adams. I'm gonna share his book here. So this is De-Evolution: Feminism's Reverse Engineering of American Women. I've read this book twice. I've lent it out to a couple of friends who have read it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in it is factual. It's backed up by hard data.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good. So I'm going to send it home with you. It's pretty small. You can get through it pretty quickly. But this particular book, I probably read it. I think I read it about a year ago.
So basically, this sentence captures my attention. After decades of pursuing and achieving equality, the so-called women's movement has caused more of a wedge between the sexes as opposed to bringing them closer together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then it talks about with the decline in marital rates and divorce rates, along with the increase in divorce rates and single motherhood. Greg Adams takes us through the failures of feminism to highlight the fact that women have not progressed closer to men. They have descended further. That's precisely what I believe is happening. It's getting to the point where men, chivalry is dead, right? Like you hear women, oh, men aren't chivalrous anymore. They don't do this. They don't hold the door. They don't pull the chair. They want to split the bill 50-50. Do they want to do it? This is because this is what you guys have asked for. This is why men are responding. They're like, okay, forget it. Why am I going to put in the effort? Why?
You know what Grandma said to me once? Grandma said, I don't understand you women and this 50-50.
Yeah.
In my day, 50 what? 50 who? She
Sure.
said, she was like,
Sure.
I'm not paying 50% of anything. And why should she? She was like, I can't give 50% of my, you know what, back.
Well, and grandma's from a couple of generations before us, and where that was normal. And, you know, again, guys, I know what I'm saying might sound a little, it's old fashioned. I had a girl tell me that. She's like, you just described a 1955 marriage. I'm like, I thought that's what they all were like. Like I was shocked when I found out that women were marrying dudes like this. I was sitting up there. Why?
Well, a lot of them now, like I was saying, a lot of them now don't really have very many options. A lot of guys, men, whatever you want to call them, are choosing to do the latter.
Yeah.
They really are choosing to do the latter.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gotten, it's
She
bad.
works 5 days a week. She makes most of the money. So he works 3 to 4. I heard this week.
He what?
She works 5 days a week, makes most of the money.
Okay.
And the husband works 3 to 4 days a week. And he just kind of adds to it. And she wears the pants in the family.
Okay.
And this is what's going on. She's about 31 is what he told me. My daughter's 31. And I really don't like her husband, but she seems to like him all right. But he's lazy.
She doesn't like him.
She's settled.
She doesn't like him.
Yeah. There's nothing else for her to kind of choose from, is there?
Nah.
No, because a lot more, there are the percentage of high value men out there, I think, is the same percentage of men over 6 foot tall. It is not a.
No, you're probably right. And so when I say it, I know I say it like it's like they grow on trees, right? Because that's how I was, and that's how.
And we had gotten into it a little bit about that today, and almost like they're not in abundance like you seem to think they are.
She got mad at me because I was saying, because I was telling her, because at the end of the day, women are the gatekeepers, right? You choose your mate at the end of the day. So if you keep choosing losers, that's on you.
Yeah.
You understand?
But she has to settle at the end of the day. She doesn't. What is she going to do? She doesn't want to be alone, because if it is that small percentage, like I believe it is, the same as men over 6 foot tall, then there's an abundance of the latter. So by the time she's 30, 31, she got to pick somebody.
Yeah.
Especially if she hasn't had a chance to become a mother yet.
Now, could it be that she just won't? Could it be that she refuses to adhere to this gentleman's standards? Like because there are we know people like this that we know someone very, very well who sat there and told us, I don't like guys like that. She wants a guy to be a notch or two below her for her own self-esteem, right? Yes. She'll feel inferior if there's a high value man that may be up here in terms of earning power and status and all of those things, and he will have standards and stipulations on his woman. Right. And she doesn't want to do all of that. All right. See, I'm wondering how much of that's going on. How much of that is going on that these women
He's
just
not going to tell me what to do.
Right.
I make my own decisions.
Ain't no man going to be bossing me around, tell me what to do and stuff. Okay. I ain't doing all of that. Mm-hmm. You want me to cook a meal and all of that? You come home to the door, have a meal on the table and all that? I ain't doing all that. Why? Like that girl said, I ain't doing nothing for you, because you ain't doing nothing for me. Yeah. You would still be paying all the bills if I wasn't here. So tell us, guys, tell us in the comments. I mean, if I'm wrong, if I'm just, am I reading the room, am I reading the world wrong? Because what I'm seeing is a lot of this kind of stuff. And you talk to guys. I was just at the shop yesterday talking, and guys, I mean, everybody seems to be saying the same thing. Everybody seems to be kind of complaining. Am I wrong for agreeing with you or siding with you on most of it? Because I remember a time years ago in my 20s, I was on a plane with the first time I flew with a woman pilot. And she said, "Oh, Mina, there's a woman flying the plane." And I went, yeah. Okay. Like, I wasn't enthused about it. So she was kind of mad at me for it. And I was like, you should be proud and this and that. And I was like, I'm glad that she can do it. Like, I'm not saying a woman can't fly a plane. Of course she can fly a plane. I think that men are better under pressure. That type of pressure. You just pissed somebody off. I pissed a whole bunch of people off. If the plane is going down, I don't want someone becoming emotional. If we're in the middle of, this is why they always picture men in the war room, because he has got to make a decision. And are they going to accidentally or not accidentally? Are they going to intentionally kill women and children when they make that decision? Yeah. He says, do it. Right. At all costs. A woman may, more than likely, need to think about it. She'll have a crisis of conscience before we will. Yeah. That's what'll happen, because you guys have the nurturing bone and we don't. Yeah. Right? So you're going to think about, oh my God, the children. Right? Yes, the children. We're different. Yeah. That's the point I'm making. Okay. We're different. We're different. We're not the same. You're not, we are not like, we're just we should not be acting the same. No. So we seem to agree on mostly everything here that we're talking about. Now, again, I'd like to hear from some younger viewers. I mean, hey, tell us, because I've been hearing like this soy boy problem is a big problem. Huge. It's a big problem. Like you can see it's written all over the girls' faces too. They be. We must do a show, because there's a lot of information out there now about what's happening to the men. They're making them softer, more feminine. A lot of feminine dudes out there now. Put it this way. We'll wrap up with this point. And here's how you know that you want a real man or not, ladies. When the barbarians are at the gate, the robbers at the door, somebody's at the window, do you want your man cowering in the closet while you're the one looking for the gun, looking for the baseball bat? Or do you want him saying, babe, get in the closet, I got this? Yeah. Like, which one do you want? There you go. Back to safety. That's all I'm saying. Which one do you want? Do you want the dude that's going to be, babe, babe? Where'd he go? babe. Meanwhile, the people from The Purge are at the window.
Yeah, they're here.
They're at the window. Your man ain't nowhere to be found. He doesn't know what to, because you know what? He doesn't know what to do.
He doesn't know.
You just said a little while ago.
He doesn't know what to do.
He has no idea what to do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these dudes, there's a show coming up. It's gonna be called "Who Are These Dudes?" Because I'm disappointed in my brothers out here. I'm very disappointed of the feedback that I'm getting as more and more women I talk to. I'm very disappointed, guys.
A lot of them can't help it. I'm telling you, a lot of them can't help it, and I'm not giving them a pass. I'm just saying they're asleep. And two, they have really poor diets. They're eating stuff that is not making them strong dudes.
Yeah. Makes sense, guys. We're bumping up against the time, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up this particular show. This is volume 1. There'll be more feminism shows. This is a big topic.
Yeah.
We're going to have guests coming on. I'd like to interview an actual feminist. Like, I'd like to sit down with a feminist and have her explain to me from the horse's mouth, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try to find one. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to see if I can find one because, like I said, most women that I talk to one-on-one, they ain't feminist. They ain't. They be telling me, who wants to do all that? I'll be like, that's what I've been saying. I thought it was just me. Y'all, they were laughing at me. Everybody was laughing at me. Oh, you was in the marriage. You was paying the bills and stuff. I'm like, well, what are you supposed to do? Like what? I don't get it. I don't get it, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Once again, we appreciate everybody. Appreciate all support. 100 subscribers, 101. Let me not discount the one. So we're happy to announce that once again. As a matter of fact, come on, give me my cheer. Give me my cheer. We appreciate you guys. Once again, we're gonna have some more content coming down the pike very, very soon. Anything you want to say?
Nah, I said enough.
Leave us comments. We would like to see more comments. If you guys are mad at my sister, why are you agreeing with him, folks?
Don't be too mad at me, guys.
Put it in the comments. So we'll see you next time. Thank you very much, and we'll chat. We're out.